I just wanted to make a quick little video just to show my setup for my VIPKID classroom. Currently I'm also part of the Jack Ma Foundation, which is why I have these colored team charts on my background, so that way when I'm doing those classes I can just re-angle my camera. But my normal background for my regular classes would be this corner back here. I have my computer angled so that way I have the heart emojis where I know that's where basically I need to make sure that I line up my camera. Same with the two emojis down here at the bottom. I really don't use the background much other than like if I'm doing a lesson on the weather, then I may take these out of the sleeves and use those as, props in a sense and hold them up. And then I also started off in my dining room, and unfortunately I just didn't have room and didn't have access to all my props. So I decided to make a small little area, and let me back up here so I can give you an idea of just how small my area is. And I ended up using my TV stand in the back corner because I don't have a whole lot of room. So I had to just modify my entire bedroom just to have a nice little designated teaching area. So with that being said, this right here is my computer that I have set up. And right by my computer, you'll see I have my handy dandy little microphone that I use for when I, sing some songs. I also have my finger puppets, the ones that I use quite often, which is the monkey and also the little bird. I use that a lot because it does come up in a lot of the lessons. And every single lesson I use my handy dandy finger puppet star, because what I like to do is pretend that I'm actually throwing the star to the child so that the child can catch, the star on his or her end. Then also, I bought a laptop shelf or whatever it's called, to where it just kind of lifts it up and it can vent. It also has a handy little drawer where I keep my little notebooks and a couple pens, and I also have my little Teacher Sandra sign so that way I can introduce myself to new students. And then in here I keep a lot of my regular stuff, which that I use often, which are definitely these flashcards, because I love how they have the big T, the small T, and it also shows the different sizes of whatever picture it is. It shows a big picture of it and then also a small picture of it. Then I also keep my colors handy because I use these quite often also. And then when we do the sounds slides, instead of just making random sounds, I like to just hold up a picture of like different animals, and we'll make those animal sounds, and I'll show, the different movements of, with my mouth as I'm doing that. And of course I have my handy dandy little phone holder right here because I like to keep it close by for if I need to play like the VIPKID songs or anything like that. Also, I have a little speaker here that is an emoji speaker. I just connect it using the USB and it'll enhance the sound for me. I have my little notebook and of course my handy dandy drink. And then when you come down here, if you notice, it's not a regular desk. This is actually my TV stand that I decided to use, and now I've moved my TV up on the taller dresser over here, which is still not connected, but anyway, here nor there. I don't really watch a whole lot of TV. So let me start down here. I also have, these are my main props. I use this ice cream one all the time almost, because generally if I have a regular student, I like to give them an option, and I would say 9 times out of 10, they still pick the ice cream. And what I do to make it a little more interesting and a little more fun is I always put the ice cream, whatever color they select, very close to the screen so they can see if they received a happy face or maybe a star. And when they pick a color that has a star, then that's when they get a star. And we just continue doing that until the end of the lesson, and whatever stars are remaining, they'll get those, because I usually generally give always 5 stars anyway. And then let's move on. I have in here also all of my little finger puppets, you know, for when I do decide to use them for like the family lessons or other animal lessons. And then I have the big elephant with the small mouse, because, you know, we do that lesson also quite often. And let's go in here. Down here, this is my Jack Ma Foundation stuff, so that's going to be for my lesson for later on tonight. And then this is just where I have, you know, some more of my expo markers and different types of stickers that I use for my different props. In this basket, I have a couple of my hand puppets that I might use, which is like the monkey, the pig, the tiger, the giraffe. I use all of those generally at some point or another throughout, you know, the lessons during the week. Another thing that I use fairly often is when I like to, you know, make a big deal out of something that they've done very well. I will like use my handy dandy clapper and just make a real big fuss out of it, and they generally love that too. When I go into my first drawer, I bought all these nice little bins at the dollar store, and I just, you know, tried to organize all my things, because I was finding that I kept picking up different types of props, but really wasn't able to use them because at first I didn't have the room for them where I could just get to them easily, and it was just more of a hassle than really it was worth at the time. So I decided when I made my own little designated area that I was going to go ahead and make it to where I can get to my props quickly and find what I need quickly and hopefully within reach. So as you can see, I have all my little balls right here that I use for when we do hit the ball. And then I also have a little bat, and I have a bunch of different little flashcards that I use. Even this little emoji game, it actually came with, I mean, hundreds of emojis, and they have all different kinds. Like when I do transportation, I have the ones for vehicles, I have colors, I have the different balls, and I just kind of, you know, group out what I need, like parts of the face. I've done that. And then these are mostly just my little magnets. These are like also magnets, and I have like the vehicle magnets that I use, and I'll show you how I use these. Also like the different farm animals. I have the alphabet. I also have my cutout props for like Meg, Mike, Mom, Dad. Meg, Mike, Mom, Dad. And then I have my teeth right here for my handy dandy first prop that I ever made. When I did my interview, I had the teeth, so I created it on a pizza pan where I can just continue to add the teeth and tell them, you know, 2 teeth equals 1 star. And they sometimes still I'll use this one, but not really as much. But I sometimes, you know, decide to use it if the child decides to pick it. So as we go on to my next drawer, I have other props in here that I don't use nearly as often, so they're a little bit further away. I have Hangman here because with some of the older kids, I'll go ahead and create, you know, a little game at the end if we have time, and I'll pick a word that's directly tied to the lesson we just learned and see if they can guess the word. And I have this little, you know, I guess cupcake or baking set. It's, you know, magnets and stuff. I really haven't found much of a use for it yet, but I don't know. I just saw it and I thought it was really cute, so I picked it up. And then for just a real quick little, you know, change of things, sometimes I'll just grab a couple marbles, and they like hearing it jingle in the glass, so I'll give them marbles and stuff like that, but I really don't use that too much anymore either. I do have a couple different puzzles that I picked up that I thought, like this one, for instance, it shows, you know, the different clothes that we wear. Even if I don't use it as a puzzle, I thought it was kind of cute how it, you know, shows the actual picture and the name. And these were very inexpensive at Walmart, just like the different vehicles here, shapes, you know, different parts of the body. These I don't use. You can tell they're still like even like stuck in there. I haven't ever even taken them out, but my intent was to use this. Now for some of my older level kids, I noticed I didn't really have excuse me, a very good, you know, reward system. So I was like, okay, I need something a little more challenging, but also something that'll make it a little bit interesting and fun. So I found this Melissa and Doug. It's basically, it has different types of stores or buildings, and when they open it, there's a magnet or a little magnet inside, and I put 5 stars randomly throughout the different places, and if they happen to pick one with the star, then I give them their star. But they tend to like that, and it does give them a little bit of, you know, information and knowledge about the different types of stores and stuff like that. So, and then over here, the same thing. It's just, these are just the sounds. And I also got these so that I can use it for the different lessons. When I put it back, it makes the sound of the animal. So I thought that was real cute. So I have that, and I also have it for like more the zoo animals or the safari type animals. And so that one, and then I found these cute little puzzles right here, which I can, you know, easily slap a magnet on the back and use it to, you know, create different words and show them the picture. And I just thought they were really adorable and figured they'd come in handy for, you know, some of my lessons. But as you can see, I haven't put the magnets on them yet and haven't used those yet either. So continuing down to my next drawer, I have my fall stuff, which I haven't had the opportunity to put up yet, but with the leaves, I'm probably going to put, you know, a couple of them on and put a magnet on them, and then behind it, I'll probably put some stars or something and let them pick. I found these cute little chalkboard signs that I was going to use for my Jack Ma project classes for the different teams, and once we create team names, I'll probably hang those up. And then in here I have the little ice cream, which you can see some of them have just a happy face on it, and others will have the star. So if they pick one and they get the star, then they get the star. And I also found this cute little troll dress-up, magnetic dress-up thing, and I noticed that some of the kids do like it, where they get to pick, you know, different outfits or clothes to put on, and they tend to enjoy that at times too. But as you can see, it's in my very bottom drawer, so I really don't use it a whole lot. Again, more just fall stuff that I plan to put up. I have a couple little headbands, you know, that I'll put on, you know, just to be silly at times. And I have this bag here, but I don't ever show the name, of course, because it's an alcohol bag. So I only let them see this side. And what I'll do is I'll randomly grab one of the ping pong balls, and if they happen to get a green one, then they get the star. And if I pull out an emoji, because for some reason I just went with the emoji theme, because I figure that goes good with the smaller kids and also the bigger ones, so the older kids, kind of more neutral. So if they get an emoji, then it's just a happy face or whatever. If not, then you can see they can get either the stars or the happy face. But I've used that also as a reward. And I picked up these little cheap eggs that I plan on using. I also have this cute little Melissa and Doug fishing set where, again, if I have them go fish and I happen to get one that has a star on the back, then they get the star. If it has just a happy face, then they just get basically the happy face. And then that's it for the front side of me. And then on the side, I have a couple bins here that I use. When I did my lesson for the Jack Ma Foundation, we had to do like, have the students clap to bingo, even though we were singing the alphabet. So I thought that was a little bit confusing. So I decided to go ahead and make a little farm on my little pizza pan and sing the bingo song to them, so they at least knew why we were clapping to the letters B, I, N, G, and O. So when we go over here, here are a couple of my easy little props that I made. I'm not the type where I don't have a whole lot of time where I can spend hours and hours and hours making all these wonderful crafts that, you know, other teachers make. I wish I did, but unfortunately I just don't. So I did this one, and that's where I use a lot of my different magnets. And I can always switch out the magnets, and I found these little generic, more rectangular dry erase boards, which work out great because I'll just, for the boys, they love football, but I did find out that football for them is actually soccer. So anyway, I do use this, but I still need to change out kind of like the football so it kind of matches their likes rather than American football. So anyway, that's one of them. And then I also have another one that's similar to this, but I have the emojis on it instead. And since not all the kids will be able to express the different emotions or point them out, I just use an expo marker and write the numbers, you know, clearly before the lesson. Like these are rubbed off just from having not used it in a while. But anyway, and if you look, if they do pick one, I might move it, and if they get the happy face again, or they might end up getting. So if I move it and they get a ball, then they get the star. If they get the happy face, then I just kind of, you know, tell them good job, and, you know, we keep trying for the stars. And also in here, here's a blank one that I can use for whatever I decide to use, you know, if I want to add, you know, a specific reward for that day. And these are just my other little whiteboards that I use randomly whenever I feel the need. I also found this little sticker book, Make a Face. I haven't used it yet, but I thought it would also come handy, but haven't used it, so we'll see. And then this was my little dog bingo that I used for the Jack Ma class. And then in here I just have random props. I have a couple different headbands that I might put on, and I have, you know, the American flag, I have guitar, I have banana, strawberry, different animals, you know, just a bunch of random different props that I may need. And in here I have all my extra, I would say stuff for like my background and, you know, my materials and supplies that I need to make, you know, all my other props and stuff. And I found these cute little things. That's actually a whiteboard on a clothespin, and I'm sure I'll find a use for them one day also. But anyway, just wanted to give you a quick little tour. And as far as my lighting goes, I actually use these real big lights. They light up my whole area, and I have 2 of them, so that way it eliminates shadows. And so when I'm teaching, you don't really see a whole bunch of shadows at all, but you could see that it lights up the area very nicely. So anyway, now that you got a quick little tour of my VIPKID classroom. Oh yeah, and one more thing I didn't show you. I also bought one of these that I use to keep all of my different flashcards. And as you can see, I mean, it's pretty filled up because I've bought basically, you know, 6, 7, 8 different sets of flashcards just so I can have the different pictures to show. But I keep it in a fan file, so that way it's real easy to find whatever I need. And then I have my handy dandy headsets, which I started off with the you know, $15 one, Logitech from Walmart, and then I recently upgraded because with this one, the cord, it just, I don't know, right by the US, where I plug it in at the jack, it's very thin and it started to act up, so I went ahead and got me another one. Other than that, I turn off my real big lights, just use my handy dandy little corner light, and sit and do my feedback or work on whatever. But that's basically a quick little tour. And sometimes I use the big cat if I end up showing them. It's just like a head that they sell at Walmart for like $20. So I have 1 or 2 of those that sometimes I might pull out for the kids, and they seem to really like it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I mean, I'm not a genius or anything as far as making videos, so sorry for the poor quality and poor, I guess, poor whatever making of it. But I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what I did just to create a nice little working environment that's comfortable for me, also very easy to get to the different things that I use while I'm working with my VIPKID students. Anyway, I hope to see your classroom as well, because I really like to share and collaborate different ideas with different educators, because it definitely helps me put more tools in my tool bag. So please feel free to comment and share any ideas. If you see anything that just strikes up a light bulb and you're like, hey, you could do this or you could do that, please share, because I would love to hear it. Thank you.